see them in the bottom right on my
Okay.
screen.
Okay, perfect. And then Emmanuel got out by accident. Technology is so funny. Okay, move closer to me. Move closer. Okay, there
Sorry,
you go.
thank you. I was trying to put it on my computer too, so but
Switching
It's not
devices.
working on your computer?
yeah. Oh wait, my music is on too. Okay, I'm good. It's okay. I'll figure it out next time.
Okay, I'll send a reminder for next week if you're doing it from your computer to check for updates because our mobile phones are kind of designed to auto update for the most part. With the computers, what I'm finding is that the soft you need to like click update on the softwares in order for them to work properly. All right, guys, happy Sunday. You made it through one week. We're about to start a new week. Cheers to those who might have off tomorrow. We're lucky. Um, all right, we have some new faces. Welcome, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Welcome, Narquise. Welcome, Stacy. Welcome, Dad.
What do you say?
What's his name? What's your name? What's
His
his name?
his name his name is Michael.
Hi,
Oh, I'm
Michael.
sorry. Yeah, Michael Byrne. Hey, good evening.
So today we're starting Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural, and I'm super excited. I've heard lots of great things about this book. But before we get started, I would love for us to we'll do some breath work and we'll do just some gentle like neck stretching with the intention to just get us present. So we're gonna try our best to like take whatever you might be doing after book club, whatever you need to plan for the week ahead, whatever your to-do list, we're gonna like put it into this ball and then put it over there, somewhere over there that's not next to you. Like throw that ball over there. And just allow yourself to be present. So if it feels comfortable for you to close your eyes, if not, you can bring your gaze like downward. And let's just start to tune into our breath. And just for a moment, just notice it. We're not going to change our breath yet, but just notice your breath coming in and out. And just give permission to your entire body to release any tension, any tightness. Release any tension like from the forehead, from the eyes, from the jaw. Relax your tongue. And we're just going to imagine that with your inhale, you're sending the energy from your body up into the universe for clarity, cleansing, and clarity. And then we're bringing that clarity back down into the body and into the earth with the exhale. And we're taking that clarity into the ground for foundation and focus. So as you inhale, you're bringing the energy through your body, through the crown of your head, up into the universe for cleansing and clarity. And we bring that energy back down through the body into the ground for foundation and focus. And I'm just going to give us about 30 seconds to breathe on our own in silence. And let's return our breath to just a normal breathing pattern. And we're going to allow our head to fall forward, chin to chest. And again, just giving permission to your body to be present, to release any tension, any tightness. And we're just going to make a commitment to ourselves and to the collective that we'll do our best to be as present as possible. And we're going to slowly bring the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Just telling your shoulders that there's nothing to do right now but to relax. And we're just going to notice the lengthening on the left side of the neck. Taking a big breath in and a slow exhale. We'll slowly bring the chin up to the sky, opening up the front of the neck. And as we breathe here for a moment, we will imagine that with our exhale, we are releasing anything and everything that may be holding us back from speaking our truth. Slowly bringing left ear over towards the left shoulder. Again, reminding the shoulders to relax. Releasing tension, releasing tightness. Taking a big breath in. Slowly releasing and settling into the body. Slowly coming back chin to chest. And noticing the lengthening in the back of the neck. And let's take another big breath in, sending that energy up into the universe for cleansing and clarity, and holding the breath at the top for 3, 2, 1. Releasing the breath slowly, sending that energy into the ground for foundation and focus. And when you feel ready, slowly bring your head up back to center and open your eyes. Okay. Thank you, everyone. You feeling all right? Ooh. You all right, Angelica?
I'm just sore everywhere.
Okay. A good sore? Okay.
Good sore.
Who's the dog? Oh, that's Annie's dog. Her dog loves me,
Yes,
by the
she's
way.
joining us. She's joining us for the call. She sat on my lap the entire meditation.
That is hilarious. She loves me and I love her.
She sure does.
So, since it's the beginning of the book, we won't do we're just going to hop right into it, and then for future meetings, we will do the same thing, breath work and settle in. We'll reflect on what we read independently. So for this upcoming week, we'll read chapter 1 independently. We'll reflect on that. Then we'll go into reading, reflect on what we read together, and we'll always end in a guided meditation. So, let's see. Can you raise your hand if you have a physical copy of the book? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll be 6. Okay. Emmanuel, you're going to have the book coming. You're going to order it. You are muted. Can I unmute her? Do I have the power to do that?
Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm lost. But yeah, so I have it on audiobook. I will get the physical copy, but I've been listening to it.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me write this down. Angelica, Lizzie, Tara, and me and Graham, right? That's Stacy, do you have a physical copy of the book?
No, I'm gonna be doing audiobook.
Okay, awesome. Okay. And me and Jim. Okay. All right, guys, are we ready to hop in? Okay. So, ooh, I should have had it ready. Do we want to? I think it makes sense. Last time we did 2 paragraphs at a time. Does that sound like a good flow? Okay, awesome. So it'll be me, Angie, Lizzie, Tara, and then Garam. Sounds good? Okay. All right. Introduction. Getting ready to become supernatural. I realize that writing this book is a risk for me and my reputation. There are certain people in the world, including some in the scientific community, who might call my work pseudoscience, especially after Becoming Supernatural makes its debut. I used to be overly concerned about those critics' opinions. In early days of my career, I always wrote with skeptics in mind, trying to make sure they would approve of my work. On some level, I thought it was important to be accepted by that community. But one day when I was standing in front of an audience in London and a woman holding the microphone was telling me her story about how she overcame her disease, how she healed herself through the practices I've written about in other books, I had an epiphany. It became very clear that those skeptics and rigid scientists who hold their own beliefs about what is possible aren't going to like me or my work no matter what I do. Once I had that realization, I knew that I'd been wasting a lot of my vital energy. I was no longer interested in convincing that particular culture, especially those studying the normal and natural, about human potential. I was totally passionate about anything but normal, and I wanted to study the supernatural. I got very clear that I should give up my futile efforts to convince that community of anything and instead direct my energy to a whole other part of the population that does believe in possibility and does want to listen to what I have to share.
What a relief it was to fully embrace that idea and to let go of any attempt to make a difference in that other world. As I listened to the sweet lady in London, who wasn't a monk or a nun or an academic helping others see some part of themselves in her, sorry, none or an academic or a scholar, I knew that in telling her story to the audience, she was helping others see some part of themselves in her. Those hearing her journey might then believe it would be possible for them to accomplish the same. I'm at the point in my life where I am okay with people saying anything about me, and I certainly do have my flaws, but I now know more than ever I make a difference in people's lives, and I say that with utter humility. I have labored for years in taking complex scientific information and making it simple enough for people to apply it to their lives. In fact, in the last 4 years, my team of researchers, my staff, and I have gone through extensive studies to scientifically measure, record, and analyze the transitions in people's biology to prove to the world that common people can do the uncommon. This book is
You're
about more than
texting on the
healing,
phone.
although it includes stories of people who have made significant changes in their health and
What's up,
have
Poppy?
actually reversed diseases,
You're texting on the phone.
along
Yes,
with
what's
the
up?
tools you need to do the same.
Like how you do.
These accomplishments are becoming
Text.
quite common in our community
What's
of
up, baby?
students. The material you are about to read
Love you.
lives outside of convention and is not usually seen or understood by most of the world. The content of this book is based on an evolution of teachings and practices that have culminated in our students' ability to delve deeper into the mystical of these. And of course, I am hoping it will bridge the world of science with the world of mysticism.
I wrote this book to take what I've always thought was possible to the next level of understanding. I wanted to demonstrate to the world that we can create better lives for ourselves, and that we are not linear beings living linear lives, but dimensional beings living dimensional lives. Hopefully, reading it will help you understand that you already have all the
Go downstairs with
anatomy,
that, please.
chemistry, and physiology
Go
you
downstairs
need
with
to
that, please.
become supernatural sitting latent within you, waiting to be awakened and activated. In the past, I hesitated to talk about this realm of reality because I feared it might divide an audience based on their own personal beliefs. However, I have wanted to write about this book for a long time now. Over the years, I have had profoundly rich mystical experiences that have changed me forever. Those inner events have influenced who I am today. I want to introduce you to that world of dimension and show you some of the measurements we took and the studies we did in our advanced workshops around the world. I started collecting data on our students in these workshops because we witnessed significant changes in their health, and I knew they were changing their biology during the meditations in real time.
Tara.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And you know I'm not used to you calling me Tara. That don't feel good.
Auntie. Oh, also adding after Auntie will be Ani and then Michael because they raised their hands. I just didn't see it.
Okay.
Okay.
We have thousands and thousands of brain scans that prove those changes were not just imagined in their minds, but actually took place in their brains. Several of the students we measured accomplished those changes within 4 days, the length of our advanced workshops. The scientific teams I've assembled have taken brain scan recordings using quantitative
What?
I'm gonna say it. I'm
Electroencephalogram.
gonna say
I
it.
couldn't
I'm gonna say
pronounce
it.
that
Too
one.
late.
Encephalus.
Electroencephalogram
Yes.
Electroencephalogram.
measurements
Yeah.
before and after workshops, as well as real-time measurements during the meditations and practices themselves. I was not only impressed with the changes, but shocked by them. They were dramatic. The brains of our students function in a more synchronized and coherent fashion after participating in the advanced retreats around the world. This increased order in their nervous systems helps them get very clear about a future they can create, and they are able to hold that intention independent of the conditions in their external environment. And when their brains are working right, they are working right. I will present scientific data that shows how much their brains improved in just a few days, which means you can do the same for your brain.
Ani? You're muted.
You're muted.
Sweet. All right.
Uh,
At the end of 2013, something mysterious started occurring. We started seeing the brain scan recordings that puzzled the researchers and neuroscientists who came to our events to study my work. The high amount of energy in the brain that we were recording while a student was in certain meditations had never been recorded up until this point, and yet we were seeing these off the charts readings again and again. When we interviewed the participants, they reported that their subjective experience during the meditation was very real and mystical, and that this either profoundly changed their view of the world or dramatically improved their health. I knew in those moments that these participants were having transcendental experiences in their inner world of meditation that were more real than anything they had ever experienced in their outer world. And we were capturing those subjective experiences objectively.
Michael?
That has become a new normal for us now. As a matter of fact, we can often predict when these high amplitudes of energy in the brain will occur based on certain indicators and signs that we have seen for years now.
You want to get water?
In these pages, I want to demystify what we have an interdimensional experience as well
Want
as
to take some of the honey
provide
medicine in
the
the
science,
cabinet?
biology, and chemistry of the organs, systems, and neurotransmitters
It's in the
to make
bathroom
this
downstairs in the
happen.
cabinet.
It is my hope that this information will give you a roadmap for how to create such experiences for yourself. We have also recorded amazing changes in the heart rate, variability, HRV. That's when we know a student is opening their hearts and maintaining elevated emotions like gratitude, inspiration, joy, kindness, appreciation, and compassion, which causes the heart to beat a coherent fashion, that is, with rhythm, order, and balance. We know that it takes a clear intention, a coherent brain, and an elevated emotion, a coherent heart, to begin to change a person's biology from living in a past to living in the future. That combination of mind and body, of thought and feeling, also seems to influence matter, and that's how you create reality.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Grandma will be back in a second, so I'm going to start the next round. So, if you're going to truly believe in a future that you are imagining with all your heart, let's make sure it's open and fully activated. Why not, through practice and quantitative feedback, get good at doing it and make it a skill? So, we partnered with the Heart Math Institute, a sharp group of researchers based in Boulder Creek, California, who helped us measure the responses of thousands of our participants. It is our desire for our students to develop the ability to regulate an internal state independent of the conditions in their external environment, and to know when they are creating heart coherence and when they are not. In other words, when we measure those internal changes, we can tell a person that they created a more balanced pattern in the heart measurement and that they are doing a great job and should keep doing exactly what they are doing. Or we can let them know that they are not making any biological changes and then give them the proper instruction and provide several opportunities to practice getting better at the process. That's what feedback does. It helps us know when we are doing something correctly and when we aren't. You want to read?
I can't hear them.
No one's reading. I mean, you can't hear anything because they're not saying anything. Right here. We're going to start right here.
When we can change some feelings or thoughts inside of us, we can see changes outside of us. And when we observe that we did it correctly, we will pay attention to what we did and do it again. That action creates a constructive habit by demonstrating how others perform such feats. I want to show you how powerful you can be. Our students know how to influence the autonomic nerve system, the system that maintains health and balance of automatically taking care of all our bodily functions while we have to free will of live our lives. It is this subconscious system that gives us our health, gives life to our bodies, and once we know how to gain access to this system, we can not only make our health better, but we can also transform unwanted self-limiting behaviors, beliefs, and habits into more productive ones. I present some of the data we have been collecting for years.
Okay. Angie?
Okay, we've also taught our students that when they create heart coherence, their hearts create a measurable magnetic field that projects beyond their body. That magnetic field is an energy, and that energy is a frequency, and all frequency carries information. The information carried on that frequency can be an intention or thought that can influence the heart of another person at a different location by moving it into coherence and balance. I will show you evidence that a group of people sitting in a room together can influence others sitting at some distance in the same room to go into the heart coherence at the exact same time. The evidence clearly shows that we are bound by an invisible field of light and information that influences us and others. Given that, imagine what can happen when we all do this at the same time to change the world. That's exactly what we are up to as a community of individuals who are passionate about making a difference in the future of this earth and the people and other life forms that inhabit it. We have created Project Coherence, in which thousands of people come together at the same time on the exact same day to increase the frequency of this planet and of everyone who lives here. Sound impossible? Not at all. More than 23 peer reviewed articles and more than 50 peace gathering projects show such events can lower incidents of violence, war, crime, and traffic accidents, and at the same time increase economic growth. My wish is to show you the science of how you can contribute to changing the world.
Lizzie?
We have also measured the energy in the room during our workshops and watched how it changes when you have a community of 550 to 1,500 people raising their energy together and creating heart and brain coherence. We have seen significant changes time and time again. Although the instrument we use to measure this is not approved by the scientific community in the United States, it has been acknowledged in other countries, including Russia. In every event, we're wonderfully surprised by the amount of energy certain groups have been able to demonstrate. We have also assessed the invisible field of vital energy surrounding the body of thousands of students to determine whether they can increase their own light field. After all, everything in our material universe is always emitting light and information, including you. When you are living in survival mode under the burden of hormones of stress, such as adrenaline, you draw from this invisible field of energy and turn it into chemistry. And as you do so, the field around your body shrinks. We discovered a very advanced piece of equipment that can measure the emission of photons or particles of light to determine whether a person is building a field of light around them or diminishing their own light fields.
When more light is emitted, there's more energy, and hence more life. When a person has less light and information surrounding their body, they are more matter and thus emit less vital energy. Extensive research proves that the body cells in various systems communicate not only by chemical interactions we are familiar with, but also by a field of coherent energy, light, that carries a message, information, that causes the environment within and all around the cell to give instructions to other cells and biological systems. We've measured the amount of vital energy that our students' bodies emit because of the inward changes they've made during our meditations. And I want to show you what changes they can create in only 4 days or less. Other centers in your body, besides the heart, are also under the control of the autonomic nervous system. I call them energy centers. Each has its own frequency, its own intent or consciousness, its own glands, its own hormones, its own chemistry, its own individual little brain, and so its own unique mind. You can influence these centers to function in a more balanced and integrated fashion. Excuse me. But to do that, you must first learn how to change your brain waves so you can enter this subconscious operating system. In fact, moving from beta brain waves, where the thinking brain is constantly analyzing and putting much attention on the outer world, to alpha brain waves, which indicates you're calmly placing more attention on the inner world, is key. By consciously slowing your brain waves down, you can more readily program the autonomic nervous system. Students who've done my various meditation practices over the years have learned how to change their waves as well as sharpen the type of focus it takes to be present long enough to produce measurable effects. We've discovered an instrument that can measure those changes, and again, I'll show you some of the research.
Ani?
Thanks. We have also measured several different biological markers related to changing gene expression, a process known as making epigenetic changes. In this book, you will learn that you are not, in fact, beholden to your genes, and that gene expression is changeable once you begin to think, act, and feel differently. During our events, students leave their familiar lives for 4 to 5 days to instead spend time in an environment that doesn't remind them of who they think they are. In doing so, they separate themselves from the people they know, the things they own, the automatic behaviors they demonstrate in their daily lives, and the places they routinely go. And they begin to change their inner states through 4 different types of meditations: walking, sitting, standing, and lying down. And through each one of these, they learn to become someone else. We know it's true because our students show significant changes in our students' gene expression, and they've then reported significant changes in their health. Once we can show someone measurable results, proving they truly have altered neurotransmitters, hormones, genes, proteins, and enzymes through thought alone, they can better justify their efforts and prove themselves that they really are transforming.
Michael?
As I share these ideas with you in the book, walking you through the process and explaining the science behind the work that we're doing and why, You'll be learning a lot of fairly detailed information, but don't worry, I will review certain key concepts in different chapters. I do this intentionally to remind you of what you have already learned so we can build a bigger model of understanding in the moment. At times, the material I present may be challenging because I've taught this material to audiences for years. I know it can be a lot. I'll be reviewing and reminding you of what you've learned so you can have to go back in the book, so you don't have to go back in the book to search for the information. Although you can always review the earlier chapters if you feel you need to. Of course, all of this information will prime you for your own personal transformation. So the better you can wrap your mind around these concepts, the more easily you can surrender to the meditation at the end of most of the chapters, using them as tools to have your own personal experience.
I think we getting ready for a ride, y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm going to thank him too, because normally I have to figure out the meditation for the end. So I guess there's going to be chapters where I guess we'll just be doing the meditations in the book. That's exciting.
Yeah, I have kind of like started this book before, and it was pretty dense, and I got like stuck in like I think like the third chapter because I was like, what? And I kept rereading it. So I think, but it like having an understanding of exactly what was happening like in my body and with the energy and everything really did seem to like make the meditations more effective.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be really helpful. Yeah.
Hey, I just found a free copy. I just found a free copy, so if someone wants it, I can forward it. I'm gonna download it and
like
send
an
it.
online
If you wanna-
version?
Yeah, I think that's
Can you
fun.
share the
So
link in the chat? In the
yeah,
WhatsApp
well,
group?
yes. Let me try to figure this out because I'm on my computer and
Okay.
on the yeah.
I don't
Maybe
know.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. Or is
I'm
it on
gonna
our
send
website?
it to you. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay, and then I can put
Yeah.
it in the group. So
Yeah.
for those who have audiobooks, this could be helpful. I do not support you wasting paper. But if you're able to like look at it virtually and then we'll all be able to contribute to the reading for those who are doing audiobooks, I know like for some of us that's way better. So I think for this the online version that Emmanuel will share with us, that at least you can then participate in the reading during the calls. If you want to. That's an option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we not reading the rest of the introduction?
That's what I was gonna get to next. So it is
Okay.
7:15, and we had the technology challenges. Are we okay to go to like 7:45? Is that okay with everyone? So we can like continue reading the introduction together?
Sure. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. Is that okay
No-
with you, Michael?
No work tomorrow. It's a holiday.
Okay.
Uh,
Are you okay with that, Michael?
Oh, sure. Want me to keep reading?
Yeah. Like I think we go to like 7:45. I think we'll probably have 15 more minutes of reading, I think, and then we'll kind of reflect and close. Sounds good?
Okay.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So, who was next? Michael went. Okay, Grandma was me and you turn. All right. So now we're in what's inside this book, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Chapter 1. I tell 3 stories that will give you a basic understanding of what it means to become supernatural. In the first story, you'll meet a woman named Anna who developed several serious health conditions because of a trauma that kept her anchored to the past. The emotions of stress triggered her genes, and the corresponding hormones created some very challenging health conditions for her. It is a very tough tale. I intentionally chose this story and included all its details because I wanted to demonstrate to you that no matter how bad things can get, you have the power to change them, just as this amazing woman did. She applied many of the meditation in this book to modify her personality and heal herself. To me, she is the living example of truth, but she's not the only one who has kept overcoming herself on a daily basis until she became someone else. She joined a whole student body of participants who have done the same, and if they can do it, you can, so you can.
So can you.
So can you.
I also share two of my own personal stories here. Experiences that have changed me at a very deep level. This book is as much about the mystical as it is about healing and creating new opportunities in our lives. I share these stories because I want to prime you for what is possible when we leave this realm of space and time, the Newtonian world we learned about in high school science class, and activate our pineal gland so we can move into the realm of time space, the quantum world. Many of our students have had similar mystical and interdimensional experiences, which seemed as real as this material reality. Because the second half of the book delves into the physics, neuroscience, neuroendocrinology, and even genetics of how this happens, I hope these stories will pique your curiosity, acting as teasers to open your mind to what's possible. There's a future. There's a future you, a you who already exists in the external present moment, who is actually calling him or himself or herself to the more familiar you who is reading this book. And that future you is more loving, more evolved, more conscious, more present, more kind, more exuberant, more mindful, more willful, more connected, more supernatural, and more whole. That is who's waiting for you to change your energy to match his or her energy on a daily basis so you can find that future you who actually exists in the eternal now.
Okay. Chapter 2 covers one of my favorite topics. I wrote it so you could fully comprehend what it means to be in the present moment. Since all potentials in the fifth dimension, known as the quantum or the unified field, exist in the eternal present moment, the only way you can create a new life, heal your body, or change your predictable future is to get beyond yourself. This elegant moment, which we have witnessed in thousands of brain scans, arrives when a person finally surrenders the memory of themselves for something greater. So many people spend the majority of their lives unconsciously choosing to live by the same routines on a regular basis, or they automatically romance their past, feeling the same way every day. As a result, they program their brain and body to be in a predictable future or a familiar past, never living in the present moment. It takes practice to get there, but it's always worth the effort. Finally, finding the sweet spot of the generous present moment is going to require you to exercise a will that is greater than any of your automatic programs. But I'll encourage you every step of the way.
The chapter starts off with a basic review of some scientific principles so we can establish a common terminology to develop models of understanding throughout the book. I'm going to make it pretty simple. Talking about brain function, that is the mind, nerve cells and networks, different parts of the nervous system, chemicals, emotions, and stress, brain waves, attention and energy, and a few other subjects is necessary to get you where you want to go. I have to establish the language to explain why we are doing what we are doing before I teach you how to do it in the meditations that appear throughout the book. If you want more explicit, in-depth information, I invite you to read any of my previous books, including Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself and You Are the Placebo. Chapter 3 is your introduction to the quantum world, the fifth dimension. I want you to understand that there is an invisible field of energy and information that exists beyond this three-dimensional realm of space and time, and that we have access to it. In fact, once you are in the present moment and you've entered this realm, which exists beyond your senses, you are now ready to create your intended reality. When you can take all your attention off your body, the people in your life, the objects you own, the places you go, and even time itself, you will literally forget about your identity that has been formed by living as a body in this space and time.
It is in this moment that you, as pure consciousness, enter the realm called the quantum field, which exists beyond this space and time. You can't enter this immaterial place with your problems, your name, your schedules and routines, your pain, or your emotions. You can't enter as somebody. You must enter as nobody. In fact, you know how to move your awareness from the known, the material physical world, to the unknown, the immaterial world of possibility. And you become comfortable there. You can change your energy to match the frequency of any potential in the quantum field that already exists there. Spoiler alert, actually all potential futures exist there. So you can create whatever you want. When a vibrational match occurs between your energy and the energy of that potential you select in the unified field, you will draw that experience to you. I'll show you how it all works. Chapter 3 ends with a brief description of a meditation I have developed to help give you an actual experience of the quantum. Each of the teaching chapters from this point on will also end with a brief description of a different meditation. If you want to follow along as I guide you, you can purchase a CD or download an audio recording of any of these meditations from my website, drjoedispenza.com. Of course, you can also opt to try any of the meditations in this book on your own without listening to a recording. For this purpose, I have made free, detailed descriptions available giving the steps of these meditations on my website, and then the website is listed. I don't feel like reading that.
Um,
Am I up?
mhm.
Okay, cool. I got it this time. If you're meditating on your own, I recommend you listen to music while you do so. The best type of music is without vocals, and I prefer slow and trancing. It's best to use music that stops you from thinking and that doesn't evoke past memories. You'll find a suggested music list on my website mentioned earlier. In chapter 4, I introduce you to one of the most popular meditations in our community. It's called Blessing of the Energy Centers. Each center is under the control of the autonomic nervous system. I will give you the science of how you can program these centers for health and the greatest good during a meditation. If you have been doing my introductory level meditations where you have been placing your attention on different parts of your body and the space around your body, I want you to know that all of your training was for this meditation. Practicing that has helped you sharpen your skills to focus your attention and change your brain waves so that you can enter the operating system of the autonomic nervous system. Once you are there, you can program the operating system with the right orders to heal you, balance your health, and improve your energy and your life.
In chapter 5, I introduce you to a breath that we use at the start of many of our meditations. This breath enables you to change your energy, run an electrical current through your body, and create a more powerful electromagnetic field around you. As I will explain, most people's energy is stored in the body because they have conditioned their bodies to become the mind from years of thinking, acting, and feeling the same way. It is in this process related to living in survival mode that creates most of the creative energy to be rooted in the body. Therefore, we must have a way to pull that energy out of the body and deliver back to the brain, where it will be available for a higher purpose than mere survival. I'll give you the the physiology of the breath so you can put more intention behind it when you begin to free yourself from the past. Once you start to liberate all the energies back into the brain, then you can learn how to recondition your body to a new mind. I am going to show you how to teach your body emotionally how to live in the future, present reality instead of the past, present reality where we spend most of our time. Science tells us that the environment signals the genes, since emotions are the chemical end products of experience in our environment. When you embrace elevated emotions in your meditations, you will not only raise your body's energy, but you also start to signal new genes in your way ahead of the environment.
Yeah, Grandma, go ahead.
There's nothing like a good story or two. In chapter 6, I give you a few examples of students who applied themselves to the meditations in the previous chapters. These case histories should serve as a teaching
Tools.
tool to help you fully understand the material I have present so far. Most of the people you will read about are so
No.
no different from you. They are common people who have done the uncommon. Another reason I share these stories is so you can personally relate to those people. Once you have the thought, if they can do it, so can I. You will naturally believe in yourself more. I always tell our community, when you choose to prove to yourself how powerful you really are, you have no idea who you will be helping in the future. These people are proud of proof of that is possible for you. In chapter 7, I introduce what is meant to create heart coherence, like brain coherence. The heart functions in the same organized way when we are truly present, when we can sustain, elevate emotional status, and when we feel safe enough to fully open up to possibilities. The brain thinks, but the heart knows. This is the center of oneness, wholeness, and unity consciousness. It is where
Opposites.
opposites meet, and representing the union of
Polarities.
polarities. Think of these centers as your connections to the unified field. When it is activated, you go from selfish statuses to
States.
states to selflessness states, and you can maintain international states independent of conditions in your external environment. You are mastering your environment. It takes practice to get good at keeping your heart open. If you do, if you do, it will keep beating longer.
Chapter 8 shares one of the other favorite activities we do at our advanced workshops, combining a kaleidoscope with videos called mind movies that our students make of their future. We use the kaleidoscope to induce a trance because when you are in a trance, you are more suggestible to information. Suggestibility is your ability to accept, believe, and surrender to information without any analysis. If you do this properly, it is indeed possible to program your subconscious mind. So, it makes sense that when you use the kaleidoscope to change your brain waves, with your eyes open instead of closed in meditation, you can lower the volume of the analytical mind to open the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And when you follow that mind movie with scenes of yourself or pictures of what the future you wants to look like, you program yourself into that new future. So many of our students have created amazing new lives and opportunities when they took the time to make their mind movie and then watch it with the kaleidoscope. Some students are already on their third mind movie because everything in their first two has already happened.
Okay, in chapter 9, I introduced the walking meditation. This meditation incorporates both standing and walking. I find this practice such a valuable tool in helping us literally walk into our future. Many times we can have an amazing seated meditation and connect to something bigger than us, but when we open our eyes and come back to our senses, we go unconscious again and return to a series of unconscious programs, emotional reactions, and automatic attitudes. I developed this meditation because I want our community to be able to embody the energy of their future and do it with their eyes open as well as closed. In time, as you practice this, you might naturally begin to think like a wealthy person, act like an unlimited being, and feel an expansive joy for existence because you install the circuits and conditioned your body to become that person. Chapter 10 shares another set of case studies to engage your level of understanding with allegory. These fascinating stories will help you connect the dots so you can hear the information from another angle and read about people who have experienced it firsthand. I hope they will inspire you to do the practice with more conviction, certainty, and trust so you can experience the truth for yourself.
Chapter 11 opens your mind to what's possible in the interdimensional world beyond the senses. In quiet moments, I often find my mind drifting to the mystical, one of my favorite topics. I love those transcendental experiences that are so lucid and real that I can never go back to business as usual because I know too much. During those inner events, the level of awareness and energy is so profound that when I come back to my senses and personality, I often naturally think to myself, I got this all wrong. The this I'm referring to is the way reality really is, not how I've been conditioned to perceive it to be. In this chapter, I take you on a journey from this realm of space time, where space is eternal and we experience time as we move through space, to the realm of time space, where time is eternal and we experience space or spaces or various dimensions as we move through time. It is going to challenge your very understanding of the nature of reality. All I can say is that if you hang in there, you will get it. It might take you a few readings to fully understand it, but as you study the material and contemplate it, your contemplation builds the circuits in your brain in preparation for the experience.
Once you are beyond your, huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
Once you are beyond your associations to this material world and you are in the unified field, chock full of infinite possibilities, biological systems exist for taking that energy that's beyond the vibration of matter and turning it into imagery in the brain. That's where the pineal gland comes in, the subject of chapter 12. Think of your pineal gland, a tiny gland perched in the central back area of your brain, as an antenna that can transduce frequencies and information and turn them into vivid imagery. When you activate your pineal gland, you're going to have a full on sensory experience without your senses. That internal event will be more real to you in your mind while your eyes were closed than any past external experience you've ever had. In other words, in order to lose yourself fully in the inward experience, it has to be so real that you are there. When this happens, this little gland transmutes melatonin into some very powerful metabolites that cause you to have that type of experience. We will study the properties of this gland and then you will learn how to activate it. Chapter 13 introduces you to one of our most recent endeavors, Project Coherence. When we witnessed the measurements of so many of our students going into heart coherence at the exact same time, on the exact same day, during the exact same meditation, we knew that they were affecting each other non locally, energetically as opposed to physically. The energy they were emitting in the form of elevated emotions carried their intention that the greatest good happen to everyone gathered in the room. Imagine a large body of people all elevating their energy and then placing the attention on that energy that lives that lives I'm sorry, that lives be enriched, bodies be healed, dreams come true, futures be realized, and the mystical become common in our lives.
When we saw how our students were able to open the hearts of others, we knew it was time to start doing global meditations to help change the world. Thousands and thousands of people from all over the world have joined in and participated in changing and healing this planet and the people on it. After all, aren't we doing this work to make the world a better place? I'll give you the science of how this all works, and I do mean science. Enough peer-reviewed studies on the power of peace-gathering projects have been published to prove it works, so instead of just studying history, why not make history? The book finishes with chapter 14, which shares some pretty wild case studies of some of the mind-blowing mystical experiences people have had doing this work. Once again, I share them so that you can see that even the most mystical adventures can be yours if you work at it. So are you ready to become supernatural?
Oh yeah. Cool.
Are you guys ready?
Ooh.
Are we ready?
I can tell you one thing, our vocabulary is going to be so much further developed after reading this book.
Yes.
Some of the words in
Yes.
there, some of the language.
One of the reasons why sometimes reading takes me a long time too, because if there's a word that I don't know, then I gotta go look it up. I have to write the meaning, and then I gotta read the sentence again to make sure I understand it.
Yeah, that's good learning, though, girlfriend. That's
That's a
how you
lot
learn.
of work.
I know, but it's like I can't move on. Like I literally, my brain won't let me move on if I don't do all that.
You know, it's funny, even like, I don't know, there's words that I've heard over and over and over again used in a lot of these types of books. And it's like, I find even though I've heard it and they're familiar words, I'm like, wait a minute, what does that word actually mean, you know?
I'm definitely going to research the pineal gland. I want to know where that is exactly.
Like
The
It's
pineal
up in
gland,
the,
yeah, it's in the
it's up
middle
in
of
the
your head.
center of your
Yeah.
brain, back off to the right.
like in the
It's
center.
penal. It's penal,
Yeah.
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 The only time it's naturally activated is if you have hallucinogenic drug or a spiritual experience. It's one of
And
the
when
that's
you're born, and when you die, if you're born through natural childbirth, that's where the DMT in our brains live.
Can't you
Mm.
spontaneously release that though with breath work? You can have spontaneous DMT releases.
They
I think
say
he
that.
works.
I don't know. He's
Well,
promising some big things in this introduction.
I know.
I was going to say he's saying we can activate it. That's kind of like getting high naturally. Yeah, I'm on board.
He said, "I'm on board." Are you on board? Are you ready?
Absolutely.
I've heard about like being able to like get yourself naturally high through breath work or meditation, and it's only something I've ever heard. I never experienced it before. So I'm excited to see what that's like. But I will say the closest I got was like last week when I went to this hot Bikram yoga and my whole body was vibrating after. Like my entire body from head to toe was vibrating. And I'm like, this is such a crazy experience. I don't know what's happening, but like, did you put something in the air? Like, what is happening to my body? And I was like, well, I guess is what they say. Like, you can really put yourself in kind of like a natural high experience. So I'm kind of excited, guys.
Too.
I
Um,
experienced that too. I went to an event, Julie knows, years ago, and I was never into breath work, meditation, yoga, none of that stuff. So for me to experience a high, and I don't do drugs or anything, so it was like extra. Yeah, it was interesting.
They say runners can do it, like a runner's high.
I do get run.
ooh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've experienced
Yeah.
that. Where your
There's a
mind
lot
becomes
of
so creative.
I
yeah.
have
There's a lot of natural highs. Yeah, and breath work is definitely one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely looking at this because I read the introduction or listened to the introduction before, and the way that I'm perceiving it is, for me, meditation is really biblically rooted in the word, right? This is the tactic that I'm taking it through of like when we're thinking and reading about the word of God, for me, we're repeating it, we're rehearsing it, we're ruminating on it, we're chewing it, we're reflecting it, we're responding to it. And so when we talk about meditation, it's like for me that always happens when I activate the Holy Spirit and Holy Ghost. So I'm really looking at this as like, okay, scientifically, what does this all look like and how can that for me apply to me biblically, spiritually, in my faith? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited about it because I've
Mm-hmm.
never looked at things like this scientifically. But yeah, I'm excited about building. I think one thing that really stood out to me is when you said, "Are you building your light field or are you diminishing it?" And I said, "Huh." That
Ooh.
was a different
Yeah.
take for me because when it reminded me about neurotransmitters. When I talked to my therapist about it, she talks about it how like neurotransmitters, it's like it's this engraved thing that you've repeatedly done as a kid, as from like your childhood, and it's being engraved and engraved. And say if it's like a negative neurotransmitter, if it's like a traumatic experiences, like you're trying to fill in that engraved neurotransmitter in your brain with something different, and so you're having to build a new neurotransmitter, and it all evolves within life. And so a lot of these things are tying in for me specifically. So yeah, I'm excited. And I did find that PDF as you guys were reading along. I don't know if the one that you found. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Emmanuel.
Um,
Uh,
was it the
uh,
there was one that was highlighted. There someone had highlighted it. I
yes,
didn't
the
mind
one
it.
I
I was like,
found.
oh, okay, I didn't mind
David
it.
Mason. Yes.
I
I,
like that it was like pointing out different things. I was like, okay, this makes my life a lot easier.
yeah, yeah. That's
Mhm.
exactly the same that I found. Yeah.
All right, cool.
And in the version of the audiobook, there are a bunch of diaphragms. So I'll put that in the chat.
Yeah,
Okay,
I saw those. I saw those.
that would be helpful. Um, Let me go to my notes. So I have a reflection question for us. Um, where in your life do you notice yourself repeating familiar emotional states, and how might those patterns be shaping what you believe is possible for you?
Say that again.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
Mm-hmm. Where in your life do you notice yourself repeating familiar emotional states, and how might those patterns be shaping what you believe is possible for you?
Wow.
Well, I started working on my morning routine. I want to make it uh, a permanent and an integral part of my life. And 10 minutes in my morning routine, I pray. I just sit with myself and I talk to God. And because I'm creating a habit, a new system, I feel that the more I do it, the more I believe and the more it shapes the belief in myself that I can do whatever it is I set myself to do. So the idea with habits is that we should not focus on the goals, but who it is that we want to become. And for that, we need to connect with ourselves. And I just started going to temple in the past 2 months for the first time in my life. I'm Jewish, and it helped me. It brought me a little bit closer to God and the universe. And now that I'm working on creating new habits, and my morning routine is one of them, I was able to incorporate that, and it really helps me. So, yeah.
I love that. I'm going to rephrase the question in case
Okay.
we're struggling with how to respond, but I think Narkis, you kind of helped us too. So, a rephrase of this question would be, where do you notice the same emotional responses showing up in your life, and how might they be influencing your sense of what's available or achievable to you?
Yeah,
I'm
well, I find that if I consistently meditate in the morning, as the other one just spoke, it sets me on a very positive, open journey for the day. And the more I learn to do more mindful breathing, I hurdle things that come up in my day, which gives me the experience of being happy, fulfilled, connected to people. Joe Dispenza, his whole thing is um, that you have to change the things you normally do every day, break the habits of what you normally do so you can create change in your life. And it's very true. You know, you get up in the morning, you do the same ritual, have a little coffee, watch a little TV, go online. It's really, if you break that, if you, instead of doing that, do something totally different, get up and go outside and walk, come in and drink water, then maybe have your coffee or tea. Your what he works with as an author, and I've seen him live in person. He's an amazing guy. Is he creates that change that you can do whatever you want to do, but he works with the brain, and he works with guided meditations that he'll give you, and he'll create euphoric feeling inside of you so that you can be whatever you want to be. I've read one of his books before, You Are the Placebo, and it was a really good book. Um, yeah, so I get to feel it. I get a euphoric feeling when I get up and do the meditation in the morning and start my day on a positive note.
Yeah, I have to
Um,
agree with you because it's disrupting your brain of what you repeatedly do every day because you get so accustomed. You almost feel like a rotisserie chicken doing the same thing over and over and over again, like un pollo asado. Like you're just doing the same thing over and over again, and it's like breaking that pattern. And for me, I've been doing that with control. Um, because my mom was such a neat freak and a lot of things growing up, like I've always felt like I needed to control things, and now I've learned abruptly that I actually don't have any control in this life. Like a lot of things in this life, I don't have control, and who do I have to give that control to? And for me, that's my heavenly Father. And so that is where I'm at as well, and also breaking that pattern of just disrupting my brain and doing different things. Like I wake up at 5 and sometimes I go right into scripture, and I wake up at 5 and sometimes I'm like, no, let me just look out the window for a little bit. And so just breaking the pattern as well.
yeah.
Speaking of breaking patterns, I noticed that whenever I have a big project to tackle, I get very anxious, which in the past has led to procrastination. Like instead of,
Me too.
you know, facing it head on, I just like avoid it until it's like last minute and I have no choice but to get it done. And now that I'm doing a master's program, I'm like, you know what? Even it's better for me to do just half an hour tonight and then to not do anything because it's like those small habits are gonna stack up and it's allow me to progress through the program and avoid unnecessary anxiety. So that's an example for me of like an emotion that comes up, how it affects me, and that's a pattern that I'm trying to break.
I've made a realization about rhythms is that every instant and every moment has different rhythms. And I do theater, so when I'm in looking at the scene, I'm like, oh, what's the rhythm of the scene? How do we get that specificity? And I realize life has the same thing. And then breaking the pattern of putting a rhythm that is my own, but that has nothing to do with the environment or the person I am with, to be able to actually enter in that moment of encounter has enabled me to become a little bit more present and not and less imprisoned by uh, my own rhythm that has nothing to do with what I'm with, and that really just makes me a stranger to the situation. That's been a realization of like, hey, what is the rhythm of this moment, of that space, of this person, and can I have access to that, and can it change my own extra rapid rhythm, which is generally what I have. So that has been
Mm.
yeah, I can relate to that too, Emmanuel. I think some a shift that I've seen for myself at least, and I still have so much work to do on it. But um, like when I meet people that possess qualities that I wish I had, I used to like be very intimidated by the person, and like, oh my God, I can't talk to them, and oh my God, I'm not that, and like a lot of this stuff, right? And I don't know, over the past like 5 years, this has occurred with friends that I'm very close to. And I'm like, well, I can't stop being friends with them. And this thing shifted inside of me of like, your friend your friend is showing this to you so that you can like safely overcome this self-limiting belief. And now like now it's become this thing where I'm like, no, that person has what I want, I'm going right towards them. And it's just been like I've been able to create new friendships and then also expand my being, and what's possible through that shift.
I love that.
Also,
Like that.
show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are, right?
Mm,
Kind of connects to what you just said. So good for you.
yeah.
For sure. I think the universe kind of brings us mirrors sometimes, both for things in, maybe in negative or things we want to change, but also in what's possible for us too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to share that came up as we were reading the introduction?
I'm really curious about this fifth dimension stuff. It reminded me of Game of Thrones, the girl with no name, the girl who has no name. I was like, oh yeah, that's what they were doing in there, huh? That fifth dimension work. So I'm definitely really curious about that.
How about you, girl? Anything
Agreed.
came up? No?
Basically, with me, in the 60s, I used to read all this stuff. I used to read all these different books, and we had a group at work when I was working. We would exchange books. Like, they would, we would read certain things.
Like trade them?
Trade them. We would trade books. And like in the past, they were saying something about that your retina could easily read your, like when you have how you call it, the use the what do you call the eye,
The iris.
iris,
The iris.
to be
Yeah, you
able
can
to identify who you are and stuff like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I used to read all.
Yeah, iridology.
Yeah, I used to go do all that with a bunch of my friends.
Wow.
We exchanged, we talked about it, stuff like that back in the 60s.
Are you excited to read this book with us?
Yeah,
I'm excited.
because it brings back memories of all the things I used to.
When it came, I was like, oh, I wasn't ready for it to be this hefty. Did you guys notice the glossy in the middle?
Sorry?
We have these glossy pages in the middle with like data.
Oh, wow.
It's about to get real.
On the brain scans.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say we're probably going to have crazy dreams.
Good crazy. Good crazy dreams.
I already
I
did.
And the
started-
pineal gland is responsible for those dreams.
Yeah,
So,
I already had those dreams. I've been listening to the book, and last night I dreamt that I was both dead and alive. It was very weird. So the dreams are coming. I was dead, but I was also alive. It was very weird, but I loved it.
Wow.
we're glad
That's-
you're back.
Yeah, I mean,
At the
I
same
was
time.
conscious, but I was dead.
Yeah.
And it was, and whatever. It's gonna
Good.
be, yeah.
Could that be true though, right? When we're evolving and constantly changing, the past version of ourselves is dead and we're always alive in the present moment.
Yes, I didn't think about me being. Yes,
Yeah.
I think this book is very powerful.
So I'm not sure if everyone signed up for the member portal. At the moment, what I plan to put in the member portal for this book, similar to the last one, is a summary, a reflection question, a comprehension question, and what I'll be adding for this book is some integration practices. Some of that will look like what's already in the book as an easy way to like maybe access it somewhere else if we needed to. And then I think as we come up, like please feel free to like chime in either during the meetings or in the WhatsApp group, like other resources that you either find or that you think would be a good idea to include. Because what I want to happen is that we are reading together, learning together, but then also finding ways to really integrate what we're reading into our lives. Because I think that's
Yes.
where, um, if we don't do that part, then we're just gathering knowledge and not shifting that knowledge into wisdom that we use.
Not practicing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna post this. I'll post it in the chat, and then it will also be in the member portal. Our integration practice for this coming week, specific to the introduction, is that we will sit or lie comfortably bringing awareness to our breath. And then we're going to notice one reoccurring emotional state you experience that day, like when you're going to do this. It could be stress, it could be impatience, it could be self-doubt, anything that may have came up for you in that day. And without judgment, you're going to name it and like say it softly. This is a familiar emotion of stress, of anger, whatever it may be. And then you're going to ask yourself, who would I be without this emotional habit? Even for the next 5 minutes, who would I be without whatever that emotional state was? And then you're going to conclude by choosing an intentional state to embody. So that could be ease, curiosity, presence, and then carry it with you into the rest of, if it's the morning, to carry it with you into the day. If it's like after work, you can carry it into your evening and into your sleep. So that is our integration process for this week. You can try it once or a couple times, see how it goes for you. But it's just kind of taking a moment for us to recognize in that day, was there anything that came up reoccurring for you? I like bring awareness to it, call it what it is, and then imagine yourself like the opposite of it, or what you would have rather been instead of that emotional state. And just sit with it for a moment. Sound good?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Anything else anyone want to share before we close?
So
Julie,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. You can go. I'll go last.
I just had a quick question because
Mhm.
it's my first Clover. So first of all, I just want to say, yay! I mean, I'm very excited. When Jolie told me about it, I'm like, hell yes! And I think that happened because I'm 39 years old, and only in the last 6 months I started reading books, like ever in my life. So the experience of reading books, because my body is drawn to it, it became natural to me. All of a sudden, I go to Barnes and Nobles and I go through books and I buy them and I actually read them. And I think it's because I'm going through a whole journey of transformation with myself that inquires me reading books. And then, Julie brought this up, and this supernatural thing, it's like one step higher. If I can get high without doing drugs, this is gonna be like, like
Life
can
changing.
a book really do that? Not that I'm looking to get high, but it sounds crazy, that books could be that powerful. But I believe it because I'm reading books that are very powerful because they change me. So I just wanted to say that. And my question is, so we're going to read a chapter and then next Sunday we're going to talk about it? Is that the idea?
So now between now and next Sunday, you'll read chapter 1.
Okay.
And then next Sunday, we'll reflect on chapter 1 and then read chapter 2 together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
The
then,
whole chapter, or just as long as time allows?
as long as time allows. Thank you. Yes. So sometimes we won't get through an entire chapter together, in which case you'll finish it independently and then read the next chapter.
Okay, sounds good.
Anything else?
Julie, will you be here?
Oh, yeah. So next Sunday, Lizzie and Angelica will be leading next Sunday's meeting. I will be facilitating a floating sound bath next Sunday. It kind of just happened like that. So the last Sunday of every month, I will be asking someone to lead for me, just because that was how it ended up being. We have the pool that is allowing us to use their space agreed to every last Sunday of the month for the rest of the year. So,
Ah,
um, so keep a lookout for a message from me, and you'll be getting a request to lead, which from the beginning was also a desire of mine to for this to be a collaborative, cooperative experience, not just me leading. I'm bringing everyone together, but this is like us. We're a community, um, and so I empower Lizzie and Angelica to lead however your heart leads you to. It doesn't have to be the way that we have been doing it. Um, I don't think there's like any right or wrong way to do this. Just kind of like follow your heart and what feels right. Um, what else do I need to say? That's it. Does anyone have comments, questions, concerns, suggestions?
Is it too late for someone to come for next
No,
week?
this is the
Yeah.
perfect time, right? Because we're just in the introduction. So I would
Yeah,
say,
I
yeah.
think I'm gonna try to convince a friend to come. Like, I think it would be very helpful for him.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah. Yes.
How did today go, guys? Did you like it, especially for our new people?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right,
Yeah.
so we'll do our best to definitely stick to our hour to hour 15. We obviously went over today, and this um, we'll do our best to honor our time because it is Sunday too. We're getting ready for the week. All right, so let's close. If everyone should just get in a lay down or seated position or whatever feels comfortable to you right now, and either bring your gaze downward, or if it feels comfortable to close your eyes. And again, we're going to come back to just noticing our breath. And if you can just start to fill up your lungs and slowly exhale. And as we begin to settle here, allow your body to be fully supported by whatever surface is beneath you. There is nothing to fix, nothing to achieve, only a gentle willingness to rest. Begin by sensing the weight of your body, the pull of gravity holding you safely. Notice how the body knows how to let go when given permission. Let's set a simple intention as we continue to breathe here together. And you're going to whisper to your heart, I am open to change. I rest in the unknown. My body and mind remember how to heal. I am open to change. I rest in the unknown. My mind and body remember how to heal. Let this intention be planted like a seed in the depths of your heart. Now let's bring awareness to the crown of our head, feeling a gentle glowing light there. Feel that light flowing down into your forehead, down into the space between the eyebrows. Allow the eyes to soften back in between the skull. Allow the jaw to unclench, the tongue to rest. Move awareness down through the throat, the shoulders, the arms, feeling both arms growing heavy. Feel the warmth in your body. Allowing the chest to rise and fall effortlessly. No need to control the breath. The belly softens. The hips, the legs feel release. Now sense the entire body all at once. Notice how the edges of the body begin to blur. You are still here. And we'll come back to our intention one more time. Gently whispering to your heart, I am open to change. I rest in the unknown. My mind and body remember how to heal. Taking your inhale through your body up into the universe for clarity and focus, and bringing that energy back down through the body and into the ground for foundation and focus. One more deep breath in, and a soul sigh out. And when you feel ready, gently open your eyes. Happy Sunday, everyone. I hope that you all have an amazing, beautiful week. And I will see you next week. I love you all. Mwah.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Thank
Bye.
Bye.